The Secretary General strongly condemns the killings of Palestinians today in Israeli strikes that hit Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis in the Gaza Strip. Those killed, in addition to civilians, included medical personnel and journalists. We want to extend our condolences to families and colleagues of those journalists killed, especially those representative of the Associated Press, Reuters, and Al Jazeera who are in this room or online. These latest horrific killings highlight the extreme risks that medical personnel and journalists face as they carry out their vital work amidst this brutal conflict. The Secretary General recalls that civilians, including medical personnel and journalists, must be respected and protected at all times. He calls for a prompt, impartial investigation into these killings. He reiterates that medical personnel and journalists must be able to perform their essential duties without interference, without intimidation, and without harm, and in full accordance with international humanitarian law. The Secretary General reiterates his call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, unfettered humanitarian access across Gaza, and for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages being held in Gaza.
What is the Secretary General's message to the Israeli government as it embarks on a new offensive to take Gaza City?
Stop. We've been very clear in the potential horrors that a new military assault on Gaza City could bring to the Palestinians who have sought safety there. There is no place safe left in Gaza. We want to see a ceasefire, want to see the release of all the hostages. We want to see the humanitarian aid flow back into Gaza so people can start rebuilding their lives, though that statement in itself seems trite in the face of what is going on and what has been going on in Gaza.
Thank you, Steph, and also thanks for the comments by the Secretary General on the colleagues that were killed, or I should say murdered. The Secretary General has called for a prompt and impartial investigation. Unfortunately, we've seen this movie before dozens of times over the past 22 months.
The Secretary General doesn't have the authority to launch an international investigation without a proper legislative mandate. But there will need to be accountability. And we also, again, call on Israel to cooperate with the various mechanisms that exist, that have been set up by various bodies in this organization in order for them to be transparent, right, and to show that there will be accountability. You know, it is a reminder. I mean, I think when it comes to journalists, there was a Security Council resolution, right, 2222, that was passed by the Security Council of this organization, calling for the protection of journalists, calling on journalists to be allowed to do their work, calling on media facilities to be treated as civilian infrastructures, and for journalists to be protected as civilians. It is important that this resolution be respected.
A protection force to Gaza, but the General Assembly does. Would he support it at this point, given the situation?
The Secretary General will support any initiative that will help bring an end to this conflict, that will help bring humanitarian aid in, that will help see the release of all the hostages, and that will help bring us back to a path to a two-state solution, and regardless of how far away that may be. Recent weeks, with reports of abductions of women and young children from sites of Gaza Strip, all used as shelters for displaced people, were attacked last week.